Hello, everyone. We're just a couple of seconds out from 7 o'clock. So I'll give everyone a few more seconds to join in. I try to be as prompt as possible, and it is my goal to keep you here no longer than 30 minutes. Let's get in, let's get out. Okay, so we are at 7:30. Some of you know me and some of you don't. My name is Helen V. Hicks. I am a licensed professional counselor. I have been in the mental health field for almost 30 years now, and I've owned and operated my own private practice for the last 15 years. In addition to that, I am an author. I have written my own parenting book called The Parenting Treatment Plan, which is available on Amazon. I am also a parent coach, and I'm the mother of 5 sons. My oldest is 30 and my youngest is 13. So, any developmental stage you can think of, been there. So, I am coming to you tonight with information that I've not only learned professionally in all the years that I've worked with children and families, but also personally from my own experience of being a mom, both single mom and partnered mom of 5 sons. Okay, so all the information I am presenting here to you at any given time, not just tonight, is information that I have utilized either professionally or personally. It is my professional goal to reach 1% of the world's parents and helping them to learn how to parent healthier and easier. All right, so let's get started with parent versus friend, when to be which. First, I want to start out letting you know that the parent child relationship is foundational. It is kind of like the floor plan for how children establish every other subsequent relationship. So, this is backed up by the research conducted by John Bowlby. And this was like years ago. In like the 70s and 80s, when John Bowlby and Mary Ainsworth they teamed up. He started the theory and she continued it and added a lot of great work to it. But anyway, there are numbers of attachment styles that can happen between a parent and child, but your goal is to have a secure attachment with your with your child, because this is the healthiest attachment style that anyone can have. And this is where two people can function independently and be interdependent on each other when necessary, but it's not that unhealthy codependent or ambivalent type of attachment style. It's healthy for both parties. All right. So that's your goal. So, what does it take to have that healthy, secure attachment parent style? And that comes into, what does it mean to be a parent? Okay. So, if you understand John Bowlby's definition of what it means to be a parent, and you are engaging in those things to be that definition of a parent, then you are also achieving a secure attachment. Okay. So, what does that mean? What do you need to do? John Bowlby theorized that you, as a parent, need to protect, provide, and guide. Okay. And it's not just protecting your child from the outside world and all the external threats, it's also protecting your child from himself. So, small little example of this: when a child is hungry, a child may want a cookie without having the knowledge that a cookie doesn't give him the nutritional value that he may need to grow and to be healthy and to be strong. So, as a parent, and your job in protecting is also to protect him from himself and to give him the type of food that is nutritional and healthy and is going to help him to achieve his goal of getting to adulthood. So, keeping that in mind, protect, provide, and guide, that is your job as the parent. Okay. A little side note that I want to throw in here because it's just something that popped into my head when I was putting all of this together. Throughout my years, I have heard a lot of parents say statements like, when they have an infant and they're like, oh, I'm just letting her cry it out. She doesn't want anything. She's been fed. She's dry. There's no need for me to go in there and pick her up. Wrong. When it comes to infants have a need for physical touch, to be held, to have a sense of connection. And when they don't get that need met, they go into a state that's called failure to thrive, which can lead to death. So when you have an infant, your infant absolutely has a need to be held and to be touched and to be caressed. Even if there are no other needs like food and diaper and all the rest of that stuff that is present, your infant still has that need because that goes into her will to live. So I really want to get that point across to any parents out there who may have infants. It's not the best idea to just let her cry it out because you don't know if that's the need that she's crying for, that she just wants connection. And however you work that out, whether it's you want to be present, but you don't necessarily want to take her out of her crib or bassinet or whatever she's in, you figure out how to do that, but still provide that need that may be present for her. Okay. The next thing I want to focus in on, because we're talking about the difference between parent and friend. Being a parent, I'm sorry, John Bowlby theorized that a parent has to make those choices that are relevant to protect, provide, and guide until the child is developmentally able to start taking on some of those things him or herself. Okay. So, what does that mean in terms of developmentally ready? So we have developmental age and we have chronological age. So if you have an 8-year-old child, then that child is chronologically 8. However, he could be developmentally 6 or even 10. So, how do we kind of gauge this? Because a lot of parents that I interact with tend to overestimate their child's developmental age. And a lot of that is often based on the fact that this child is capable of holding certain conversations. It's like, oh my gosh, he's so advanced. He can talk about this and he can talk about that and blah, 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 blah. And they assume there's a higher developmental age present when there might not be. So, other factors to take into consideration of your child's developmental age is emotional and behavioral stability. So, if that 8-year-old who is very capable of having these wonderful conversations is also struggling to stabilize, self soothe, engage in coping skills, things of that nature. So, if let's say he's involved with sports and his team loses, or he wasn't able to get the goal, or something of that nature, if he is not able to regulate himself emotionally and behaviorally in that moment, then his developmental age is not higher. And you may consider if it might be a little bit lower. Okay. It is perfectly okay for any child to be visibly upset and to show emotion. But if your 8-year-old is falling out on the floor and having a tantrum like a 2-year-old, then 8 is not his developmental age. Okay. So just to reiterate, the parent is in charge of making the decisions related to protecting, providing, and guiding until the child is of developmental age to start taking on some of those decisions himself. Okay, so let's move to the next slide. So, then what does it mean to be the friend? So, piggybacking off of what I just said, the parent role is you are making the decisions regarding protecting, providing, and guiding. To be the friend is to pass off those decisions onto your child that are related to protecting, providing, and guiding. Excuse me. So, a few examples of what do I mean by this? A very common scenario that I've seen with a lot of parents, and it usually comes with like around the preteen age or so, when your child is getting really into activities or social norms, things of that nature, and your child may want certain items or want to do certain activities that may be a financial strain on the family. So I have seen parents who have allowed children to make these decisions that the parent is going to go out and spend money that's taking away from the family and the household in other ways so that the child can have whatever that thing is. This is problematic because even though your child got the thing that she wanted, and maybe she's happy in that moment. And some of you know that that happiness can often be fleeting and it only lasts until the next thing that she wants. So when you do that, the most harmful aspect of that is you're losing your child's trust. Your child is not trusting you to be able to make those decisions that have the potential to keep him, the whole family, yourself even safe. So it's really important that you take into consideration the messages that it's sending to your child when you allow these decisions to be made by your child that impact you or the household in negative ways because now the child is questioning your ability to make these decisions. Okay. So that's how we kind of distinguish between parent and friend. Um, so sometimes people are looking at, well, then how does play come into this situation or this dynamic? Because a lot of times people mistake that, okay, playing with your child may be moving over into being a friend with your child, and should you do or should you not do that? So, play is completely separate. For children, play is actually a part of nurturing and development. Play is often a child's language to process their feelings, process the world around them, and sometimes to even communicate when they don't really have the words to express where they're at with their life experience in that moment. So, play and playtime with your child is very, very different than being your child's friend. So I encourage parents as much as you possibly can, absolutely play with your kids, engage in those activities that allow them to explore their world and their environment, the things that they like and the things that they don't like, and then pay a little bit of closer attention to what themes may be arising in their play because that can tell you, certain things as well. I won't get into that. That would be a totally different video. So I'm going to stay focused on where we're at with things right here, right now. Okay. Um, so play with your kids. It's very different than being the friend. The friend is where you are giving your child the ability to make decisions in regards to their protection, provision, and their guidance. Okay. Another way, just coming back to the friend thing really quick. Another thing that I've often seen is with teenagers. And teenagers are kind of given way too much freedom. And they're kind of left to guide themselves. I've seen this dynamic where maybe a mother and daughter, and the mother wants to be the daughter's friend and allow her, to go places and to do things with other people that may be a little bit questionable. But the mom wants to seem like the cool mom. She wants everybody to like her and that sort of thing. And then what happens is there's some level of resentment that builds in that child when she goes out and she has whatever experiences that she does in life and feels like the mom had information or even the ability to prevent some of those experiences from happening, but the mom withheld that information from her. And there can be varying degrees of resentment that build because of that. So that's another thing in regards to guiding. Oh, oh, I'm sorry. It says my camera unplugged. Hold on a moment. Hopefully I can get my camera back. All right. Let's see if I can get my backup camera to work. Sorry about this. Mm, nope. Okay. Well, if you can hear me, I will just keep going. There we go. Well, all right. So, sorry about that. So coming back to what I was saying, that if you as a parent have information that could be vital to your child, growing up, that sense of guidance, then it's really, really, really important that you share that information with your child, regardless of how big or how small you may think that information is or how relevant or important it is. It's very important that you still share that information with your child to help guide them so they can still trust you to fulfill that parent role. Okay. Next up. So, the relationship between parent and friend is linear and unidirectional. So, if we say that being a parent is on the left and being a friend is on the right, this is a straight line between the two and it's unidirectional. So, you start off being the parent, and as you move closer to being the friend, you can't go backwards. So once you take that step towards being a friend, once you take that step towards allowing your child to make those pertinent decisions related to protecting, providing, and guiding, you can't go back. Now, I know parents will try. They will definitely go in and make those decisions, but the trust has already been broken. And once that trust has been broken, that is power that has been given to your child. And children are very, 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 very reluctant to give that power back. So it's really important that you stay the route of parent and be the parent first, because you have to be the parent first in order to establish that secure attachment. And you have to be that parent until your child is of the developmental age in order to make those decisions, him or herself. So let me talk a little bit more in regards to that. So, how do you gauge when your child is ready for you to start transitioning? So here's my quick little formula in regards to this. So if we go back to that 8-year-old child, then I want you to consider how capable is that child of being able to protect, provide, and guide herself. So even if we look in terms of, let's say, provide, um, how much can that 8-year-old child truly provide for herself? So, okay, maybe she can go into the kitchen and she can make herself a sandwich or get a snack. Maybe she can get a bowl of cereal, those types of things. But what she can't do is she can't go out and get a job in order to get the money in order to go to the store and buy the cereal and the milk and to buy the stuff for a sandwich. She can't do those things. So, this is keeping in mind the big picture of providing, not just the simple fact that, oh, the food is there and she can go and she can open it and she can do this and she can do that. Can she go out and get the food that's there in the house? If she can't, then that's what you have to take into consideration. So, again, if we go back and we look at, if your 8-year-old can protect, provide, and guide herself 2% of the time, then what that means is you can only be the friend 2% of the time. You can only allow her to make decisions about how she is protected, provided, and guided 2% of the time. And 98% of the time, you have to be the parent. Okay. I have a totally different video in regards to people who say, oh, but I don't want to be the bad guy. I don't like being in that position or bringing the hammer down. I hate it. I have a totally different video on that. We could talk about that at a different time. But for right now, look at your child's developmental age. And again, that's not just about your child's cognitive skills, that is also about your child's behavioral and emotional skills as well. How well can your child regulate her own emotional stability, her own behavioral stability? If she cannot, if she is truly struggling with this, at whatever age. If you have a 16-year-old who is still having meltdowns, then your 16-year-old should not be making very many decisions related to how he is protected, provided, or guided. Okay? So keep that in mind in regards to how much of the parent you need to be, how much of the friend you need to be, based on your child's developmental age and abilities. So, as your child grows with those developmental skills and abilities, you absolutely can take small steps back because remember, this is unidirectional. Once you give it, you cannot take it back. So take smaller steps. That way you won't overstep and put yourself in an undesired position. Okay. So that mostly wraps up everything that I wanted to present to you guys tonight. This QR code is for my online parenting course. It is live now. It is only $47 a month. It's a subscription plan, so you can stay as long as you feel like you want to stay. If you feel like you only need it for a month, okay. If you need it longer, okay. What comes along with this parenting course is everything in regards to being the parent, being the authority figure. And when I say authority figure, I do not mean that in terms of bringing harshness into your environment. I really mean that as being a respected figure for your child. Okay. And when you are a respected figure for your child, then your child will willingly allow you to parent. There are no more power struggles. So, if you absolutely want to learn how to parent your child without power struggles and also build emotional stability and self discipline within your child, please join my online parenting course. Again, it's only $47 a month. You can stay as long as you'd like. There is also a community attached to the course. So that means you can go into that community. You can view all the videos that I have posted in regards to parenting. You can also ask me whatever question you want to ask me, and I will respond in video format. I like video format because it's a lot more informative. You can see my facial expressions. Unfortunately, you can't see them right now. So hopefully I will fix my camera issue for next time. My comments are up. I have a couple of comments that have come in. Thank you so much, Curtis. You've always been a great support. I appreciate your positive feedback here for me. We have a few more minutes. I am willing to wait to see if any other comments pop up, any questions come in. If not, then I will hopefully see you in my online parenting course, which is titled Smart Goals Parenting. Um, just really quick, as I'm waiting to see if there are any comments, it is titled Smart Goals Parenting Course because I am the only person I have come across who has actually identified SMART goals, specific, measurable, appropriate, reachable, timely. They're SMART goals. And the first goal is for the parent to become the authority figure, which what I just defined as the respected figure. So that means you have to earn your child's respect. And the second goal is for children to learn how to make good choices. Because at the end of any of our lives, we are just the summation of all of our choices. So if you can, in any way, shape, or form, give your children a head start by teaching them how to make good choices, hopefully you will save them a lot of heartache in the end. Okay. I have not received any other questions or comments on my end. If you are making comments on different platforms, I can't see them at this time, but don't worry, I will indeed look later on. And if you do have questions, I will respond because I appreciate getting feedback from people and being able to help you in any way possible. So if there's nothing else, then I will go ahead and end this event. And hopefully I will see you at the next one in about 2 weeks. Thank you, everyone. Good night.